Tôi xin chào mừng quý vị đang theo dõi chương trình Câu chuyện kinh doanh trên kênh truyền hình FBNC. Thưa quý vị, sức khỏe đang trở thành một mối quan tâm hàng đầu trong những năm gần đây, đặc biệt là khi mà cuộc sống của con người đang phải đối mặt với ngày càng nhiều những mối nguy hại từ thực phẩm kém chất lượng, môi trường, không khí ô nhiễm, vân vân. Và chất lượng cuộc sống tại nhiều nước, đặc biệt là những quốc gia đang phát triển, đang là một sự trăn trở lớn đối với đa số những người dân. Chăm sóc sức khỏe bao gồm việc phòng và chữa bệnh, do đó trở thành một câu chuyện dài. Thưa quý vị, ngày hôm nay chúng tôi được hân hạnh mời đến trường quay một vị khách mời đặc biệt là đại diện của một tập đoàn dược phẩm hàng đầu thế giới để tìm hiểu nhiều hơn về sứ mệnh chăm sóc sức khỏe toàn cầu trong bối cảnh hiện nay. Xin được trân trọng giới thiệu ông Strenner là trưởng văn phòng đại diện GSK tại Việt Nam. Và trước khi đến với buổi trò chuyện ngày hôm nay thì chúng tôi xin mời quý vị cùng đến với một đoạn video clip ngắn sau đây.
Xã hội ngày càng phát triển, nhưng điều đó không có nghĩa là những thách thức dành cho ngành y tế toàn cầu sẽ giảm đi. Các chế độ chăm sóc sức khỏe trên toàn cầu còn hạn chế, hàng triệu người chưa được tiếp cận những phương pháp chăm sóc sức khỏe đúng cách. 334 triệu người mắc hen trên toàn cầu, gây ra khoảng 250.000 ca tử vong mỗi năm. Kháng thuốc trở thành mối lo lớn khi mỗi năm tình trạng này làm tăng ít nhất 10 triệu ca tử vong. Nhưng đó chỉ là một phần của những thách thức. Là một trong những tập đoàn dược phẩm và chăm sóc sức khỏe hàng đầu trên thế giới, GSK cam kết dành ưu tiên hàng đầu cho các bệnh nhân, không ngừng nỗ lực vì sứ mệnh giúp mọi người làm được nhiều việc hơn, cảm thấy khỏe hơn và sống lâu hơn. Hơn 13.000 chuyên gia và nhà khoa học tập trung nghiên cứu hàng ngày và phát triển để tạo ra những sản phẩm thuốc, vaccine, chăm sóc sức khỏe mới. 98.000 nhân viên GSK hiện diện trên 115 quốc gia cùng chung tay cho hành trình mang sản phẩm đến gần hơn những người đang cần chúng. Thế nhưng, làm thế nào để có thể vận hành bộ máy khổng lồ đa quốc gia? Làm thế nào để những ưu tiên chăm sóc sức khỏe và sự phát triển bền vững được cân bằng? Đâu sẽ là ưu tiên hàng đầu tại châu Á, một khu vực năng động, và Việt Nam, thị trường nhiều tiềm năng để phát triển? Tất cả sẽ được giải đáp trong câu chuyện kinh doanh ngày hôm nay trên FBNC cùng đại diện GSK tại Việt Nam.
Good morning, Mr. Strenner. How are you today?
Very good morning. Very good, thank you.
Yeah, well, our pleasure to have you on the show today. So we will be talking about the pharmaceutical industry, especially in Vietnam. Now, as of 2015, GlaxoSmithKline was the sixth largest pharmaceutical company in the world. So what are your competitive advantages to differentiate yourself from the other world-class rivals?
That's a great question. So GlaxoSmithKline is a multinational global healthcare company, and there are three parts of GlaxoSmithKline. We have a consumer division, pharmaceuticals division, and also we have a vaccines division. And I think what GlaxoSmithKline has been trying to do for some time now, especially over the last 18 months since the beginning of January 2015, is really focus on some of the areas that differentiate us as an organisation within the industry. And I would probably say that the biggest thing that differentiates us is, firstly, we are incredibly focused on putting the patient at the heart of everything that we do. And that impacts every single decision that we make, large, small, irrespective of function. But also, very tangibly, it has changed the way that we drive our business model. And there have been some recent changes. So one is around changing the way that we incentivize our salespeople. So no longer do they have a sales target which is associated with prescription-based. We've also changed the way that we provide payments to healthcare professionals. So what the old model was that a pharmaceutical company would invite physicians all over the world to listen about a new medicine. They would then go back to their respective countries and then cascade that information to the wider population. So we have stopped doing that. We no longer pay physicians to do that, and primarily because we do not want to have any perceived conflict of interest. And the last area is we believe that the industry can provide huge benefit for physicians when it comes to education, and we want to continue doing that. However, we want to make sure we do it at an arm's length process, not, again, individual physicians, which again could be perceived as a conflict of interest.
Well, you have a very meaningful purposes there, I can see. And GSK aim is to make your products more accessible to as many people as possible. But of course, doing business here would be there would be a lot of differences, especially in the expenses and cost of production. So how can you balance or harmonize your quality of the product and the cost of production?
Fantastic question. So this I think goes to the heart of GSK's global strategy. So we have an incredible focus on quality. We do not in any way, shape or form compromise quality in any way. And that's primarily because quality is so intrinsically linked to patient safety, which is at the heart of what our organisation is about. And I think the one message that I'm incredibly proud of is, we have, I think the last count is 85 manufacturing facilities around the world, right across Asia, Europe and the United States. And any patient who receives a GSK medicine, whether they live in the US, whether they live in Europe, whether they live in Vietnam, whether they live in Bangladesh, the quality of that medicine is exactly the same. So and here in Vietnam, we import the highest quality medicines possible, and we make sure that not only is the quality high, but through our tiered pricing strategy, we make sure that we try and gain as much access to patients for our medicines and vaccines right across the country, and right across not just developed markets, but markets that are developing, as well as those that are least developed, for instance, sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay, here in Vietnam, it is very common that people buy medicines or drugs without any prescription at all. So from a business perspective, there would be an advantage that the company can sell more medicines. But from ethical perspective, what do you think about this? Because the company must ensure that it would fit the code of conduct of the company. What do you think about this in Vietnam?
Well, it's a very important question. And having been in Vietnam now for 6 months, I was quite surprised to hear that this is something which was quite common in Vietnam. And I think for a company like GSK, where, as I said before, we are incredibly focused on our ethics, on putting the patient at the centre of what we do, it is incredibly important for us that we want to do a couple of things. First of all of the activity that we do around our prescription medicines, we focus a huge amount of activity on prescribing physicians and nurses, and these are the individuals who are diagnosing and treating patients every single day. They are the experts. So we would always say any patient should always go and see a doctor or a nurse first before they would then go and purchase any kind of prescription medicine.
Okay.
I would also say it can be very counterproductive for patients to go to a pharmacy without being very clear about what they're going in for. For example, if a patient were to go in with a viral infection and want antibiotics, that does not help the patient, and it certainly does not help some of the issues that we're seeing with antibiotics resistance around the world. So from a GSK perspective, we would always say, go and see your physician, go and see the expert, get properly diagnosed, and then make sure you have the right medicine, the right intervention for what you need.
Well, to be honest, there is some improvements here in Vietnam. Like, for example, I have a daughter, a very baby daughter, and I send her to a kindergarten.
Yeah.
So before, when she gets sick, I just give some medicines to the teachers, so that they can, feed our daughter. But right now, the school wouldn't accept it. Any medicine at all without prescription from the doctor. So I think that would be, that considered improvements, right?
Absolutely.
So, however, generally speaking, in Vietnam, Vietnamese people, they do not pay a lot of attention into sickness prevention. So to them, sickness and cure come almost the same. Like when you get sick, then you get some medicines. So how do you develop the strategy and the priorities in training? I mean, in educate the markets to increase the awareness of the sickness prevention.
So this is a very big question, and I think this is not just an issue in Vietnam. It's also an issue in many countries that are developing, and actually it's actually an issue in some very developed markets as well. So I would say there are a couple of factors here. Firstly, prevention sometimes can sound quite scary and quite complicated and quite scientific. Prevention is everything from stopping smoking, doing some more exercise, which I know I should do, and being a little bit more thoughtful about what you eat and how you go about your daily life. So that's some of the very simple things that people can do, and I think we should all do that. Some of the more, I think that some of the more critical areas for prevention, especially around vaccines, which is an incredibly important part of the work that we do in Vietnam. We are very proud of some of the work that we do around disease awareness to make sure that mothers have the best knowledge that they can to be able to protect their infants, and also to make sure that healthcare professionals are given the latest information so that they really understand some of the benefits of vaccination, to better protect some of the very young children that we have here in Vietnam, like your daughter.
Thank you very much, and then we would take a little short break here, and we will return to discuss more about your strategy for the Vietnam market. Thank you very much, James. Thưa quý vị vừa được tìm hiểu những định hướng chung của công ty dược GSK với mục tiêu chăm sóc sức khỏe toàn cầu, đặc biệt là tại thị trường đang phát triển như Việt Nam. Và để tìm hiểu nhiều hơn những sản phẩm chất lượng được GSK tập trung phát triển riêng đặc thù cho thị trường Việt Nam thì xin mời quý vị tiếp tục giữ kênh để đến với phần tiếp theo của chương trình Câu chuyện Kinh doanh.